So, how do you feel today here at Hellfest?
It's a bit strange. I don't normally see this many people when I'm in my house, so yeah, it's a bit odd. It's kind of cool. Some of the stuff I don't like so much, but what Steel Panther with the titty cat can fuck off. But just like the festival itself, like the entrance and all that, it's like a city. It's really cool. I mean, if you've asked that question to anyone else today, they've probably said the exact same thing. But yeah, it's grown definitely since we were here before. So I think the first time we played it, the stages that we're on over there somewhere, there's like two stages next to each other.
Exactly.
I think there was only one the first time we came, and yeah, it was a lot smaller. But no, it's cool. It's cool. It's a spectacle. Put it that way. You know, I wouldn't do this to my own garden if I had a bigger one, but it's cool. It's fun.
I'm going to ask you, how was Dave, young Dave?
Yeah, I was a little shy. I'd never been to a show that big before, and it was. I can't remember how big it was then, but I think it was around 100,000 people, and you know, the Iron Maiden headlining and all of that business. And yeah, I saw Slayer, which was fantastic for 15-year-old me. You know, I was happy. And I found if you went down to the front, you could take your feet off the ground, and then when you put them down again, you'd be 30 meters away, and that wasn't safe. But it was cool, but it was all terrifying, but exciting as well.
So you guys are going to play tonight. 1 a.m. Sorry, 1 a.m. So how do you feel about that? Is that cool?
To be honest, personally, I was really pissed off because I would have really liked to have seen Prodigy and Body Count, and they're both on at the exact same time that we're on. So that's shit. But the actual playing of a show at that time, it should be interesting. I mean, obviously we're going on after the headliners, so hopefully everyone will just leave, and we'll see what happens. But we did that. There was a festival that we played in Czechia, I think you call it now, don't you? A couple of years ago. And there was a problem with the flights. So at that, it's a little smaller than this. It's called Brutal Assault. But it's still quite big, and we had to play after the headliners at that one, but the headliners of the whole festival, which was Carcass, I think, and it actually went really well. Everyone didn't go home, so that was kind of fun, but we'll see what happens tonight.
No, it's going to be okay, because everybody is waiting for you guys also, because Nathrakh playing here in France, it's always a good thing.
Yeah, we've actually had some pretty good support in France over the years, you know. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. I'm being silly, obviously, but I think it will be good. Fingers crossed, if we can stay awake.
So it's about your last album, Endarkenment.
Okay.
And it was out, of course, in 2020. So the title is a sort of premonition, because the world seems to become darker today. So what do you think about your music being like...
It was really strange, because the title is obviously meant to be the opposite of enlightenment, right?
Yes.
And enlightenment was like a movement of society and thought and that kind of thing, away from superstition and away from subjectivism, you might say, like what I think and feel being the most important thing in the world, and a move towards facts and science and, you know, that kind of thing. And so it was probably like 2019, I was thinking about that stuff, and I did, like, watching Trump and the rise of that current of things in a lot of other countries as well. And it all seemed that the people were, like in the UK a couple of years before, we had Brexit, right? I'm not a fan. But there was a politician in the UK, and someone said to him, because he was arguing for Brexit, someone said to him, experts said this, like economics experts or something said it would be a very bad idea. And he said, oh, I think we've all had enough of experts. And I thought, right, okay. And yeah, that was when the idea kind of started. But then after that, up until we were recording that album, it just got more and more and more. And especially in the US, what people felt became a lot more important for, not for everyone, but for a lot of people, more important than what they know. And that seemed to be, like, in a lot of the world that was happening. America was the most obvious example. But it struck me that that was the opposite of the Enlightenment. It was turning back to, you know, sentiments from authority, but only certain authority figures. So if you think of QAnon, for example, a lot of people were treating that as some kind of authority and just believing what it said because they believed it, and not because it correlated with the actual world. So yeah, that was kind of some of the stuff behind the album. But then it was really strange because we finished recording the album and then immediately the pandemic happened. And so it came out during the pandemic, but the pandemic seemed to turn up everything that I was just saying. It made everything louder from that part of the world. So it sort of was like a prophecy almost. A reluctant prophecy, but a prophecy. But then since then, because obviously it's been quite a while since we did that album, for various reasons, not bad reasons, but it's been a while. But that process seems to have continued. So it's like the theme has been going on for this long, and it's still happening. So it's still a timely album, I think, which is a bit strange given that it started a few years ago, but. Yeah.
We had an interview today, and we were talking about the artists and do the artists have this sixth sense? Sixth sense, sorry.
Yeah, no, we can touch red things. That's a film reference. No, there's a film called The Sixth Sense, and the dead people in it can't touch red things. I didn't notice that, but my friend's really observant and he spotted that. I think artists don't have a sixth sense. I'm struggling to say it now. But I think they do pay attention to things that fits with their artistic way of looking at the world. And because they pay attention in that way, they're not predicting the future. It's not a sixth sense, but they are picking up on details that a lot of people don't necessarily. But it's not only them. There are other people who pick these things up as well, but some of them are, political commentators or writers or whatever. But I think the clues are there. It's just some people are sensitive to them, I think. So when you hear what they come out with, it seems like they saw something earlier than everyone else. But I think that's the case.
Okay. I understand. I agree with you because you pay actually more attention in the detail, and we as a listener, we don't have the same comprehension that you guys have. Okay.
That's not to say that it's impossible for normal people to do it. I don't mean that, but it's just if you see the world through a particular lens, you see things highlighted, I think.
Okay. So, guys, are you working on something new?
At the moment, no, unfortunately. It would be fun, but because of that disease thing that happened, in that time, Mick, my partner in crime, he's in America, and he started a new project and got some new work and stuff, and it really took off. It was kind of like anonymous for a while, so I won't say the name of it in case it's still anonymous. I think most people who would care enough to know probably know, but anyway, I won't say the name, but it went huge.
Okay.
And we had a conversation. We said, okay, so you're busy with this, for the time being. He doesn't have a second to do anything. Shall we just say it's over for Nathrakh or what? And when we spoke about it, Mick said, well, I can't really do anything like for a while now because I'm doing this all the time. I said, okay, but say in 5 years' time or something, we wanted to do something, would you still want to, or not, or because I'd be up for it. And we agreed then to not end Nathrakh, but we just know. But it might be a while. Yeah, I mean it's nice to have. But, well, just because he was in America, that didn't really change anything. It meant that it was really nice to go and record. But he's done music for films and things like that now. So yeah, I think he got invited to like a Chinese theatre red carpet premiere in Hollywood. And I don't think he went, but I'd go. Yeah, but he's doing so much stuff. But we haven't said never, so we'll see. Yeah, I've never been to Turkey at all before.
You would be amazed. Really, people there are loving, metal music. Also, there are a lot of community, a big metal community also.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. But yeah, it came like out of the blue. We had a couple of shows booked in Greece, and then our agent just said some guy got in touch, and because you're going to be quite nearby anyway, do you want to do a show in Turkey? And I sort of didn't know what to make of it because we hadn't done that before. But when I mentioned it to the guys who I'm playing with tonight, they were all like, "Yeah, I want to go to Turkey. I really want to go to Turkey." So.
I don't want to. No, he wanted me to ask you something else. Okay, you want to talk about chaos again? Chaos, Tristan. Okay. I want to see a bright future. Okay, so what do you think about that?
You want to see a bright future? You're going to be very disappointed, I think. I predict chaos. There is a very strong possibility that things will be much worse.
You know what, Dave? We are happy to see you here again. Really, we can't wait at keep it light at 1 p.m. I mean, that makes me happy, and Tristan too. So we are going to drink to that, and we are going to drink for you tonight. Okay?
Okay. I'll do all the miserable. You do
exactly. Yeah. I want to do the happy thing. Okay? So maybe a last word for the French audience, as usual.
Thank you if you gave enough of a shit to watch this in the first place. And yeah, like I said, we've received some really good support in France before. It's been good to us, and hopefully we've done our best for them as well. We're always trying really, really hard.
So, are you going to stay just tonight or tomorrow also?
I'm going home tomorrow, most of us are, but our guitarist is staying for tomorrow. Because we've got two guitarists. One of them is quite excited to see Metallica. The other one would rather eat his own eyeballs than have to see Metallica. So one's staying, the rest of us are going home. I'd quite like to check it out, but I've got to go. But I hope you enjoy it though.
Yeah, I understand. And sorry for the Prodigy thing, playing at the same time.
Tell me about it. I've still never seen them. The one time I got a chance was at Download.
Yeah.
And when they were supposed to be on, I was a little drunk. It was festival, and I walked to the tent where they were playing, and I walked in, and I'd looked at the wrong time. I'd looked at the ending time, and that was it. I walked into the room, and there was like sweat dripping off the ceiling, and there was just the atmosphere of like this was really special, and you weren't here. So, and then this. So I'll catch them eventually. I'll catch them in a net possibly. But,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and we are. Yeah, it's really cool to see you really again. Thank you, really.